Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08 and welcome to the 42nd episode of my second 1 billion iron ingot challenge. In today's episode, I am going to start prepping to build a fusion reactor from the mod NuclearCraft. So let's get started. The first thing I am going to do is grab some fluid storage buses, and let's look up the recipe real fast for these fluid storage buses. The recipe is this right here. We need a fluid interface, and to make a fluid interface, it's basically the ME interface except with the lapis or blue dye right here in these two spots, rather than, I'm not sure what the regular interface is, but I think it's like, actually I have no idea what it is, but anyways, it's a very similar recipe to the ME interface. This is how it's built. So let's grab a few of these storage buses. And I need these to slap on some of my already pre-existing storage solutions for liquid here. And I need the oxygen. Actually, I need the deuterium and the hydrogen more than anything. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to reroute some cables here, because I'm going to go ahead and use this top side here to actually route or connect up to my ME system here. So let's get out my handy dandy crescent hammer here, and I think I'm going to move this fluid conduit to this side. Yes, I think that'll work. We can actually leave that there because we'll need that. And the fluid conduit, I think I can just run it straight up. And then I can have this be extract always on. Yes, and that should be fine. And so now what I can do is I can put these storage buses on. And I do want them to be only what's already in there with a positive priority. So the liquids I have so far are oxygen, deuterium, and hydrogen. I do have most of my oxygen in a black hole tank that I am carrying with me, so I should mention that. Let's get some covered cables so we can actually hook these guys up. And I think that should be good. Let me make sure I have some dense cable up here. Ooh, that's regular ME conduit. I might want to grab some dense ME conduit. Okay, so that is regular ME conduit. I need to do that. I need to disable that. And then, yeah, I should be good now. Okay, so this should show up in my system pretty soon. I won't actually need it for this episode. So let's go back and actually let's just look at the recipe for the fusion reactor, because pretty much the rest of the episode here is going to be spent making these ingredients. So to make the fusion core of the reactor, it's pretty simple, or it's not really simple. It's this right here. I actually have everything except for the elite plating already automated. So the elite plating is what's difficult here. We need boron ingots, which isn't hard. The DU plating isn't even hard because it's just uranium-238 with sulfur, and then advanced plating, which I have already automated. But this crystal binder right here is somewhat difficult, because two of the ingredients, the crushed Rhodochrosite and the calcium sulfate, are actually rather difficult to acquire. So for the crushed Rhodochrosite, which is the easier of the two, we just need a rock crusher and granite. And that's pretty simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set up this system down here. I'm going to set up this system kind of as a one-off. I will eventually tear down the system, because it won't be necessary to run for very long, but for right now I'm just going to go ahead and set something up to get some of this going. So I've got the first rock crusher here. I'm going to power all of my machines down here with RTGs just to make things simple, and then I just need to throw a bunch of granite in, and then we can get this thing going. So let's grab some granite, and I'm going to grab 6 stacks here. So first stack goes in here, the rest of them can go in the hopper, and that'll get the Rhodochrosite going. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to send that to my ME system, which is currently clogged, because I think that's just because I just replaced some of the ME conduit, so things have to reconnect to the system before it can get going again. So I'm not really worried about that for right now. I will check back on this. If this is still clogged in a little bit, then I will need to check that everything is, or check on what's going on. But anyways, this should clear up in a minute. Okay, so the calcium sulfate is by far the hardest of what I need to organize today. So to make calcium sulfate, there are lots of steps I need to use to get the solid calcium sulfate here. First off, I need to make calcium sulfate solution, which I make in a crystallizer, which I just now realized I don't have automated, but this is the last step. So anyways, you know what? I do want to build this thing backwards, just to make it easier to build. So let's go ahead and get a crystallizer. Okay, so yeah, 2 L's. There we go. So crystallizer, it is, I don't think, very difficult to build. There's nothing really expensive there. So yeah, the advanced plating is a little bit expensive, but everything else is pretty cheap. So let's grab a crystallizer. Come on. There we go. Like I said, I do want to build this system kind of in reverse, just to make it easier to organize everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the crystallizer right here. Okay, so this is still stacked up. I'm starting to get worried here. So I think I am going to check this out. Make sure. Okay, sometimes things don't like to connect up. Okay, it's working now. I don't know why that didn't want to connect up like that, but whatever. It's fixed now. We're good. Okay, so the crystallizer. This is kind of the last step here of the system, so I'm just going to extract into my ender chest here. And that should work pretty well. Okay, to get the calcium sulfate solution, we need to use a chemical reactor with fluorite water and sulfuric acid. So we'll set up a chemical reactor, and that'll be right here. I will need, because I believe that this produces 2 different fluids from the chemical reactor, yes, we'll get hydrofluoric acid and then our calcium sulfate. So I do need to set up a tank for the calcium sulfate, not the calcium sulfate, the other thing. So this is fluid conduit. Need to extract, always on. Insert, always on. Okay, insert, extract, always on. I am going to need a couple of filters here. So let's, oh, I don't have that automated. What a shame. So let's go ahead and automate that, because we will need some fluid filters here. Okay, that's really weird. Okay, I think what's going on is my ME system just going slightly crazy right now. Everything looks to be on, so that's good. So, filters. Let's do filter on the out. This needs to be the calcium sulfate solution, so calcium sulfate solution. And then this right here needs to be this other filter with, let's see here. Not this, hang on. Hydrofluoric acid, okay. Hydrofluoric acid. There we go. So the hydrofluoric acid should go in here just to be stored, and then the calcium sulfate should go over here. Okay, so what I should do is just grab this and put it on top. There we go, we got power. Okay, so to get the calcium sulfate, okay, we have that ready. So I will need fluorite water and sulfuric acid. To make the fluorite water, I think which is the easier of the two, I need crushed fluorite and water in a fluid enricher. So let me grab a fluid enricher because I don't think I have one. I thought I had that automated. No, I don't. I have the fluid infuser, I think. Okay, so I'm just confusing my NuclearCraft machines right now. So I need the fluid enricher, which is right here. It doesn't look to be too complicated either. The advanced plating is the really only expensive part of the machine. And the advanced plating's not even that, pretty much nothing is expensive to me, to be honest. But okay, so let's grab a fluid enricher. And that should just take just a little bit. Okay, so I think I'm going to do this from over here. So this, let's not set that up quite yet. So fluid enricher. And now I forget what I was doing. We had the calcium sulfate. I think the fluorite water, that's what I'm doing. Okay, fluorite water. We just need crushed fluorite and water. So I will need water. That's one of the things I will need. So I should have some compact water sources ready. So that'll be the water. And then I need the power. And then I will need... It's hard for me to remember all this stuff. Obviously, I'm doing a very terrible job right now at remembering everything. So I need crushed fluorite, which comes from the rock crusher, crushing either diorite or andesite. I'm going to do diorite. So rock crusher is next. And that'll be item conduit and extract always on. I'm going to need a couple of filters here. This can be extract always on to a modular storage. This will be for the other things that I don't need. And then I can put the power source over here because up top I want to do a hopper. And I think I said I wanted to do diorite. Crushed fluorite. Yes, diorite. Because that'll give me a little bit more crushed fluorite. This gives me, the andesite gives me less of it, so. Okay. So let me grab a couple of filters. So I can set this up, and then. Oh, I do have some crushed fluorite. I don't even know how I got that. But anyways, I bet it was when I was playing with fission reactors. I bet I needed it. So anyways, I'm just going to make it here as well. So, okay, so I will need crushed fluorite and then yeah, I'm not going to remember that. So this will be here. And where did you go? Right here. Crushed fluorite, be whitelisted here. And then I think it's... And I obviously can't spell that, so let's just go back to fluorite water. Oh shoot, I forget. I forgot that when you're in the filters, you cannot click on things. And I'm spelling things wrong because it's a UO. Okay, it's crushed caro and zirconium. There it is. And then zirconium. Okay, so all that stuff should flow in here. Cool. So that's always on. That's insert. This needs to be extract always on. That needs to be insert. Okay, so I just need the andesite. And now I'm second guessing myself. I feel like I need, not andesite. It's diorite, yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First goes in here. Rest of it goes in there. Okay, so I need to go back to here because that's only half of it. That's only the fluorite water. I need the sulfuric acid. So actually it's like hydrosulfuric acid, I think. No, it's just sulfuric acid. So let me make sure that this is actually fluorite water, sulfuric acid. Okay, that is what I need. So sulfuric acid, to make that, I will need water and sulfur trioxide in a chemical reactor. So let's put down the chemical reactor. And let me double check that I'm not getting a secondary product here. While making this. No, I'm not getting a secondary product, so I don't need to worry about anything else there. So let's do the water from over here. The power can be up top again. And then we just need to have this extract always on and then insert. Okay, so to get sulfuric or to get the sulfur trioxide, I need sulfur dioxide and oxygen. Okay, so this is where my oxygen tank comes in. I knew I would need this. We need another chemical reactor here. And actually, I am pretty sure that I'll need a chemical reactor there as well. So this will be insert. This will be extract always on. I will need... let's go ahead and put my oxygen tank over here with fluid conduits right here and here. This will be extract always on. And this will also be extract always on. This will be insert. And this will also be insert. Okay, so we're making sulfur trioxide right now. No, sulfur trioxide. I need oxygen and sulfur dioxide. So the sulfur dioxide will come from here. This will be insert. This will be extract always on. And to make sulfur dioxide, I think we need liquid sulfur and just oxygen. Okay, yes. Molten sulfur and oxygen. So we have the oxygen in here. We have the oxygen in here as well. So to get the molten sulfur, I need a melter, and that'll be right here. So this will be extract always on. I do need power sources here. So this can actually just go there. So let's get a hopper. Let's get some sulfur. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sulfur in there, sulfur in here. Okay, so I think everything's just about ready to go. Let's pump things up to so where I'm actually using the full 400 RF per tick on each of my machines. Just because I can. Okay, that's too much. Is 8 the sweet spot? I think 8's the sweet spot for the chemical reactors. Okay, so it looks like things are working. Hopefully I'm getting the actual right amount of everything. And the things are going where they need to. Okay, so it looks like we're starting to get stuff. Calcium sulfate solution in the crystallizer. Okay, so this is just really, really slow. That's what's going on here. Okay, so that's cool. We should be getting what we need. So let's go ahead and speed this one up as well, even though I already have most of what I need from it. Cool, so I think everything's running. Like I said, this system, I'm not going to keep it around very long. I'm just going to keep it around to make a decent amount of supplies so that I can make lots of fusion reactors. I'm not sure how many I'm actually going to make, but anyways, yeah, hopefully you were able to follow along while I made this system. To be honest, it's pretty complicated getting everything ready, but let's see if I actually do have everything to make the plating there and yeah, fusion reactor. So let's see here. Elite plating, we need crystal binder, so we need calcium sulfate, magnesium dust is easy, pulverized obsidian is easy, and we are now making the crushed rhodochrosite and the calcium sulfate. So let's see if we have everything. Looks like we do. So let's just pop this in the system. Let's see here. And then we should be able to make the elite plating, which I now can. And let's also pop this in here once we find an open spot. And I should be able to make this now. Cool. So let's see here. Let's craft up. Let's craft up a few fusion reactors if I can. Okay, so I don't have very much calcium sulfate and I don't have much magnesium dust right now. Let's just do one. And I can't even do that because I'm missing a calcium sulfate. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to wait on some of the calcium sulfate to craft up. And once that's done, I will be right back. Okay, so I now have enough of the calcium sulfate to make a fusion reactor. Let's go ahead and do that. There is one more thing that I will need to build before I can actually build a fusion reactor, of any size anyways. I need to build some fusion connectors, which actually the fusion connectors are really cheap. The basic plating is pretty much nothing. The only thing that's a little expensive is the tough alloy, but that's not even expensive, at least not to me. So yeah, I can build everything for a fusion reactor. The last thing I haven't built on camera is the electromagnets, which we will need a lot of, and that's where the expensive part comes in, because to make a pretty big fusion reactor, it will take a lot of these fusion electromagnets, but that's not really a problem at all, because yeah, I have a lot of stuff. So now that I can make everything for a fusion reactor, hopefully in the next episode, I will get one up and running. So one last thing I would like to do in this episode is set up some signs, because I don't know, I'm probably going to run the system a few more cycles. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put up some signs to tell me where to put stuff in. So this was just sulfur. Over here we have granite. And then we have diorite over here. Yes, diorite. So yeah, just so I can throw some more stuff in the system and make some more of the calcium sulfate and the crushed rhodochrosite. So yeah, so in today's episode, I set up this semi-automatic machine here to make the crushed rhodochrosite and then the calcium sulfate that I need to make fusion reactors, because I very much want to dive into that and make some fusion reactors in the future. So yeah, now I can do that because I have all this stuff, which looks ugly and is disorganized. But anyways, it works. So that's all I care about. And that's pretty much all I did in this episode. So anyways, if you liked today's episode, definitely give it a like. If you enjoy watching automation and modded Minecraft, definitely consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. And I should mention that I have 122 million iron ingots right now, so that feels pretty good. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.